Hi everyone, welcome back to Stamp with Anna. Today I'm going to show you the third card that I made with the Christmas quilt stamp set and the Quilt Builder framelits, which are a bundle. The bundle is in the current holiday catalog, and I was told that the bundle is going to be discontinued after the holiday catalog is no longer active, which is January 2nd, 2018. I was really caught by surprise because I thought it was such a great bundle and that for sure it would carry over. So I decided, now that Christmas is just about come and gone, that I would try to show you some projects using this bundle that aren't Christmas. I have done plenty of them that are Christmas, so you can certainly check my Pinterest page as well as my YouTube or my blog to see those. But this week I am doing all non-Christmas cards. On Monday I used the stamp set, the bundle, to make a baby card, which was this window card here. This was really popular on my social media. I've gotten a lot of inquiries about that. Then Wednesday I did this one. I used it with some fall colors and made a sympathy card out of it. And today I'm going to use it as kind of a fun encouragement card. And again, I'm using the quilt part of it, but I've changed up the colors, and it's the sentiment says, "When life gives you scraps, make a quilt," which I think is a fun way to say to someone, hey, it's not that bad, make the best of it and I'm here for you. So we're going to make this. I'm going to change the colors up a little bit, and I'm going to tell you why. When I did my die cutting with the quilt framelit, I used all scraps of paper from the Daisy DSP. I used this pattern here, I used this pattern here, and I used this pattern here. So I had a 3x3 inch square in each one of those with all of these different cutouts, as well as the frame, which I'm not throwing any away because you can just take and mix and match all of these up and make a different card. So this one here, I have enough of these because both of my papers, the orange one and the blue one, both had the same floral design on the back, so I got a lot of these. So I'm going to just make this now using blues. It's Night of Navy, I believe, but again, it's I cut out 3 pieces, blue, orange, and this floral, and I'm going to be able to make 2 cards out of it. The only thing I have to recut is this background here. So I'm going to go run this through the Big Shot and I'll be right back. So this is how it comes when you punch it or you die cut it out, and these pieces just pop right out real easily. And again, that's the same thing that I did with the 3 different colored designer series paper. And again, hold on to these, put them in a little bag and put them aside, because you'll be able to mix and match and make a great quilt out of all those little pieces. So this is the basis for my card. So what I'm going to do is get a piece of Whisper White. This is cut 3 3/4 by 7, and I'm going to attach this to that. And I chose to use, I should probably get my silicone mat, but I'm going to use this instead. I chose to use a glue pen. You could use that double-sided adhesive that you just die cut with this, but I just didn't feel like taking it out. So I decided to go this way. So I'm going to place that right there. Now it's just a matter of building up my quilt. So I chose, on this one here, I did all the flowers here and then the orange Calypso Coral on the background, and that's why I used Calypso Coral stitching, Calypso Coral cardstock for my base, and Calypso Coral twine. So this time I'm going to use Night of Navy because I'm changing my color scheme. So I do have all of my pieces for the inside of my card, the inside of my quilt, excuse me. And the way I'm going to attach those, I'm just going to take my glue pen again, and I'm just going to fill each one of these squares in with my glue. And you do have to move kind of quickly, so it's a good idea to have them all lined up so that you know that you have the right ones. What I mean is give it a dry run first so that you know that you have all the right sides. Because you don't want your you don't want to be playing with trying to figure out how they're going to fit while your glue dries. And it does, they do fit in beautifully. They lock right into place, but they are, although they're all the same type shape, they are they do fit a little differently. The angles are cut differently, so that you do have to, they do go in a particular order. Okay, so there we go. All right, now I have all of my blue pieces here, my Night of Navy I should say, and I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to put glue with my glue pen in all of these larger sections, the corners, and these little triangles. And these are easier, obviously, to drop in. Here we go. Card front just about done. So now, excuse me, I'm going to take the stamp, one of the stamps that's in the stamp set, which is this set of stitches here. I think it's called a blanket stitch. And with my Night of Navy ink, I'm going to make a border. Now, if you're faint of heart and something like this where you're a little bit off will drive you crazy, you probably shouldn't use this stamp. It's easy to line up because it is photopolymer, but you can run the risk of not having it perfect. And I did try with different size mats, and the 3 3/4 by 5 seems to be the best size to use. And you can see it does line up nicely. You just have to be a little careful, and it goes quickly enough. But it's a handmade card, and if it's off just a tad, it's not a problem. Wouldn't be a problem to me if I received a card that had a little imperfection in it. Someone's going to take the time to make me a handmade card. I'm gonna like it no matter what it looks like. Go back and try to darken that one up just a bit. And this is probably about how my sewing looks anyway. So there I have my blanket stitch all the way around. Now I'm going to use the sentiment that says, when life gives you scraps, make a quilt. And again, I'm going to ink that up in my Night of Navy, and I'm going to stamp this over to the left, right about here. And that's all my stamping. Now I have to do a tiny bit more die cutting. So the thinlets come with a lot of dies. There's the major quilt, and it nests inside this square. And then you have these flowers. These are the flowers that I use to make my sympathy card. And these cut out so you can make individual leaves on the flowers. That makes a great poinsettia if you are using it for Christmas. And then here we have some holly, a star, and this cuts out the same shape here. And this one here, you run it through, it doesn't cut, it just adds stitches to it. So it's really nice. So actually, what I think I might do is run this through the Big Shot to add some stitches. I'm going to try that and be right back. Okay, I actually like that. I don't know if it's going to show up on the camera, but you see these little stitches? You can see it in the back, but it actually adds a nice touch to the card. I like that, so I'm glad I tried that. Okay, so this is done. Now I just need to attach this with my snail onto my card base, which is Knight of Navy. See, sometimes I make a card, and then when I go make it again, I change things up. I decide to try something different, and that's perfectly fine. So now I have to make the spool of thread here. And for this here, to make the spool, the thinlits comes with this little die, and also this one that makes the needle. Now I'm going to cut the spool out of some crumb cake. And you know how I'm always telling you, hold on to all those itty bitty scraps of that specialty paper? Well, look at this scrap. Tiny, tiny. I would have normally thrown that out. And that's going to fit right there. So I'm going to go cut these two out. I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back with my pieces. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take some snail and just liberally apply that to the back of this spool. And then I'm going to take my Knight of Navy baker's twine, and I'm just going to wrap it around here. Now this one is a tiny bit thinner, than the Calypso coral that I used on my first card, so it's going to be a little easier to thread that needle. I'm just going to wrap this all the way around. This is beautiful. I love this this baker's twine. It was part of the Flourishing Phrases suite that came out, I think, last year. I just loved it. So now I want this to be right here. So in order to attach this, I'm going to take my fine tip glue, and I'm just going to, again, liberally add that to the back here. So that I know it's going to stick really nicely onto my card. I'm going to use a pair of my tweezers. Get a little stuck there, okay? And I'm going to attach it right there. Okay, now this piece, I did cut this a little too long, so I'm going to cut it, and I'm going to thread it through my little foil needle here. And I'm going to position it how I want it. Just like this. I'm going to put a tiny bit of fine tip glue in the back of this and place that where I want it. And again, a pair of tweezers is perfect for this kind of work. Right there. And then I'm just going to put a tiny bit of fine tip glue here and press my baker's twine into that, and then trim. And just fuss with your glue just a little more than I am, so that you know that it's going to stick nicely. And there we have it. And I do like the different color with the Night of Navy, as well as the Calypso Coral. I'm going to go run this one through and get some stitches on that as well. So there you go. There's another way to use the Christmas quilt stamp, even though it's not a Christmas card. And I really do like this. I think it's a great little project. I hope you'll give it a try. And if you are interested in getting this bundle, again, it's the Christmas quilt stamp set and the Quilt Builder framelits. It is a bundle. When you do bundle them, they are 10% off. They are available in the holiday catalog, which is only live until January 2nd, 2018. So you do want to get that before they all sell out. And if you have any questions about this project or any of the products used, certainly contact me through my blog, www.stampwithanna.blogspot.com. Thanks so much. I'll catch you back here next week.